The call came while I was standing in the hallway, barefoot, listening to the walls breathe. My mother-in-law's voice was low, careful, like she was afraid the apartment itself might hear her. "Don't worry," she said. "He still doesn't know." I didn't move, didn't breathe. The mirror at the end of the hall showed my face split in two, calm on the surface, something feral behind the eyes. I pressed the phone closer, letting the silence stretch. She laughed softly. "Once the papers are done, we won't have to pretend anymore." Pretend. The word lodged under my ribs. Behind her voice, I heard my wife. A whisper. My name. Followed by a sigh that wasn't meant for me. I hung up without a sound. The apartment felt different then. Smaller, like it had chosen a side. I walked into the kitchen and watched my wife sleep at the table, her phone face down, lips parted like she was innocent even in dreams. I stood there a long time, thinking about how when we married, I never told her the apartment was mine, thinking about how silence can be an investment, and how tonight it started paying interest. I didn't confront her. That would have been messy, emotional, wasteful. Instead, I replayed moments, her sudden distance, her mother's frequent visits, always when I worked late, the way conversations stopped when I entered a room. I told myself I was paranoid. Then I remembered the locked drawer, the one she said was just personal. Inside were copies of bank statements, mine, printed emails with a lawyer's name I didn't recognize, notes in her mother's handwriting. After the sale, we leave. Sale? My name wasn't anywhere on those pages. That was the first real cut. Not the affair, though I felt it, cold and sharp, but the assumption that I was disposable, that they could take what sheltered us and erase me from it. I put everything back exactly as I found it, and smiled at dinner. I became invisible on purpose. I listened, watched reflections instead of faces, counted lies by their rhythm. I checked phone records. A single number, constant, erased daily. I followed once, just once, a cafe across town. My wife's laugh, lighter than it had ever been with me, her hand on his wrist. Familiar. Practiced. I sat 2 tables away, reading nothing. Later, I ran the documents through my lawyer. Quietly. He didn't ask why. Ownership confirmed. Sole owner. Purchased years before I met her. Never transferred. Never shared. I went home and cooked dinner. My mother-in-law kissed my cheek that night. Told me I was a good husband. I thanked her. Inside, something hardened into shape. The proof arrived in a thin envelope. Photos. Messages, a signed agreement between my wife and her mother outlining of their exit strategy. I invited them both to sit. No shouting, no accusations. I slid the envelope across the table. My wife opened it first. Her face collapsed in stages. Shock, fear, calculation. Her mother tried to speak. I raised one finger. Then I placed a second document on top, the deed. My name, alone. Silence fell like a verdict. "You plan to sell my apartment," I said calmly, "and replace me." My wife cried. My mother-in-law didn't. She just stared at the paper like it had betrayed her. I felt nothing. I had already changed the locks. Their suitcases were by the door, packed. Not by me. "I won't press charges," I said. "Consider it mercy." My wife reached for me, missed. Her mother finally spoke. "You tricked us." I nodded. "You underestimated me." I handed them a final envelope. Eviction notice. Legal. Immediate. The other man was waiting outside. I'd texted him earlier, told him she was free. I watched her choose, and I closed the door. The apartment is quiet again. It feels larger now. Honest. I walk through rooms that remember me, walls I paid for, silence I earned. I don't hate them. Hate requires heat. What I have is colder. They wanted a life without me. I gave it to them and kept everything else.